I've spent a decade fixing business strategies, and you know what I found? While all great strategies tend to be unique, all dumb strategies are dumb in the same old predictable ways. I mean, once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. Of course, the problem that most businesses have is that, unlike me, they haven't seen hundreds of dumb strategies. They've actually probably only seen their own. And so they don't realize that they're falling into some of the same old traps that have sunk many a business before them. Heck, they probably think that they've come up with a piece of solid fried gold, the poor fools. So in this video, we're gonna fix that. We are gonna pit textbook dumb strategies and textbook smart strategies against each other so you can spot the difference instantly, whether that's for your business or frankly for any business in the whole world. If you've read my hit book, No Bullshit Strategy, some of this is gonna be familiar to you, but I'm gonna cover some new ground here too. So let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with the first comparison, which is the most common and the most dumb. I mean, I honestly can't believe people still make this error in 2025, but they do by the busload. Dumb strategies are goals. Smart strategies are how to achieve the goal. This is stuff like, our strategy is to become the #1 in our category by 2030, or our strategy is to triple our revenue, garbage like that. Now, it should go without saying that these are not strategies. At best, these are the results of strategies. The strategy is the specific thing that you are going to do to get that result. I mean, look, let's face it, you're not going to become #1 in the category or whatever just because you wish for it. There must be some move to get you from here to there. So, I mean, what is it? Why haven't you written that down as your strategy? Well, of course, we all know the reason. There is no such idea in the first place. You're just leaving that as a sort of open question and hoping that people will figure it out, which, of course, they won't. Now, perhaps you're chuckling along here and you think, oh man, that's so stupid. I would never make an error like that. But be warned, the examples I gave, like tripling your revenue, are just the most egregious flavors of this error. But it can be more subtle too. For example, consider stuff like, our strategy is to become the provider of choice in our industry, or our strategy is to increase our share of a particular market segment. These don't feel quite so stupid as the other examples, do they? But in fact they are, because these are still goals. They're just slightly more specific goals. They still fundamentally beg the question of how. How are we actually going to do this? A true strategy never leaves you asking how. It only leaves you asking, when do we start? Now, let's go on to our second comparison. Dumb strategies are about being better. Smart strategies are about being different. Now, this one is super dangerous because unlike our first example, the dumb path here often feels kind of smart. Surely if we are the best, then we will win, right? So it's a great strategy. But sadly, no. You see, the word better, when you think about it, is actually a synonym for the same. Like when you say X is better than Y, what you're actually saying is that X is the same as Y, or X does the same job as Y, but it just does it a little bit more somehow. Therefore, when you set out to be better than a certain competitor, what you are actually doing is becoming the same as them. Because essentially, in order to hit that target, you have to match everything that they do. And this, of course, is the path to commodification. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Alex, I get that we will be occupying the same market space, but even so, if we do it better than them, well, we're still going to win, right? Right? But again, no. You see, the sad truth is that when businesses occupy the same market space as each other, when they have the same fundamental offer, the winner is not the one who is best at delivering on that offer. The winner is generally the one that is maybe the most famous or has the best contacts or frankly who has the most money to blow on marketing and stuff like that. I mean, trust me, the graveyards are overflowing with so-called better solutions that were defeated by inferior but ultimately more powerful competitors. And this will be you if you pursue this course. Instead, the only option you really have to win this battle is to just opt out of the battle altogether by offering something different from them, not something better. Instead of being the best X, you need to be the only X offering Y. Because if you do that and people want that thing, then guess what? You're the only game in town. Pretty good. Great strategy removes the question of comparison from the equation altogether. So your customers come to you automatically, and that is the recipe for big fat profits. I mean, a crazy example of this, for instance, is the iPhone. When you think about it, people who want an iPhone, historically, they don't really consider other types of phone at all. And that means that although Apple actually only have 15% market share of smartphones, they have a crazy 78% profit share. A good hack to make sure that you don't fall into the better trap yourself is to ensure that no value judgment words are present in your strategy at all. Just facts. Remove all words like good, better, best, superior, innovative, cutting edge, leading, anything like that. Because these are judgment words. These words don't mean anything. They don't have any substance. They don't say what you're actually going to do. So just take them away. Leave us with the facts. And whatever's left over, if there is anything left over, that is the real strategy. Finally, let's look at comparison number 3. Dumb strategies are safe. Smart strategies are risks. Now look, you've got to understand something here, that the entire point of a strategy is to make a decision that other companies will not make, to walk down an untrodden path. Why? Well, because it's only by making decisions others don't that you can get results that others won't. I mean, when you think about it like that, it's kind of obvious, right? And that is why every strategy needs to be a risk. Every strategy needs to be something that your competitors would look at and say, gee, I don't think that I would do that. Or, I don't really agree with that. If your competitors would look at a strategy and say, oh, yes, well, that seems very sensible, then guess what? It's not really a strategy. Because if it's eminently sensible, they're probably doing it already anyway. It's not really a choice then, is it? It's just common sense. There's this kind of cool concept in strategy pioneered by this guy Michael Rayner called the strategy paradox. And it basically says that good strategy actually makes you more likely to fail, not less likely. Why? Well, because it's inherently a gamble. If you don't want to fail, then honestly, just follow best practice. It won't take you anywhere exciting, but it's probably not going to kill you either. Now, there's a super cool mental hack for this one that you can try, which is to ask the question, would the opposite of this strategy also be a legitimate strategy? If the answer is yes, then it's a strategy. I mean, it may not be a good strategy, but it is a strategy. But if the answer is no, then it's probably just common sense and not really a strategy at all. For instance, imagine a restaurant with a strategy all about serving slow food. Is this a legitimate strategy? That might not be a good strategy, but yes, it is legitimate because fast food, the opposite, is also a legitimate strategy. So this proves that this business has made a choice. But what about, let's say, a restaurant with a strategy of great service? What's the opposite of this? Terrible service? Is that a legitimate strategy? I don't think so, because really, great service, it isn't a choice or a risk, it's just common sense. So it has no leverage. So let's recap. Dumb strategies are goals that try to be better than the competition and they don't take any risks. Rather like, I guess, 98% of strategies on the planet, so-called strategies. But smart strategies are the solutions to goals that make you different and take a risk that others won't. And that is a rare thing right there. If you want to see some killer examples of this, then you just got to check out this video here about how 9 famous brands managed to build real, hard, authentic differentiation. And also tells you how you can do the same. It's really going to bring these ideas in this video to life.